Welcome to the whitest house. Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. Except the blood of the poor and the way they mouth. The last gas of a world that is dying out. Welcome to the whitest house, where every room is a tomb that they lie about. Where you can put your filthy feet on the finest couch, and for the right amount, you can even buy it out.
That's the essence of your entire political identity. You might be a white supremacist.
All right. I guess that's how we rocking today.
Hilarious. Oh, ugly shoe. You are the ugly shoe god, bro.
Listen,
calling the ugly shoe god.
In the spirit,
he's ugly shoe god.
In the spirit of Kanye West, I've decided to bring out the Yeezy 700 MLBS tonight.
Those are horrible looking.
Miracle.
Those are horrible.
Why don't put my
amazing.
name in nothing? I'm over here minding my business.
Yeah, those are ugly shoes.
Nah, these are incredible.
Not in the least. No, those are terrible. That's why
Bugging.
you see Sha'Carri ain't wearing them ugly shoes. She got some Nikes like a regular normal person. She got some Nikes. You know what I'm saying? Like you're supposed to have. But anyway, welcome to this weekend.
I got some Bo Jackson.
Those ain't bad.
Bo Jackson Valtech. Come on.
Those ain't bad. Welcome to This Week in White Supremacy. So I obviously we'll start with Kanye if it's This Week in White Supremacy. I'm Jasiri X. I'm the co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media, and we have next to me
Treble NLS, you know what I'm saying? Treble Never Like Supremacy. One Hood's hippie, you feel me? In the building.
So are y'all the t-shirt twins today? Is that what's
Yes, it was unplanned. It just kind of happened.
Niggas love synchronicity.
Niggas
love synchronicity, man. Niggas like shirts.
Niggas like shirts. I like that. Saeed, did you want to introduce yourself real quick?
You know, it's the fresh one with the flavor, the full-time supervillain, part-time hater, Saeed with the shade today.
Got you. And last but certainly not least, the voice of reason on our show.
You know, it's the girl who always gets left out, the forgotten one, the one who's on an island all by herself. It's Miracle. Apparently, the whip and the wop. The only part of the Wonder Twins who remembers there's a part of the Wonder Twins. But it's Miracle. It is what it is. Turn up.
Twinning with everybody else. He's twin.
That's how light skin people do. They just feel the type of way and they just try to replace with everybody else.
That is hilarious.
Beyonce said we're irreplaceable, so it's fine.
She said to the left, Farouk. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you know, I'm left-handed anyway, so that works better for me.
So we wanted to get in. Let's get into this show, and we wanted to start with my boy. Maybe we should switch the song up. I don't know, but and you kind of asked the question, Farouk: is space travel, white supremacy?
My poll on Instagram is popping right now.
Your poll is popping.
Yeah,
So for those that don't know, Jeff Bezos, who is a multi-billionaire, is he decided to take his billions and spend his Amazon stock on a trip to the moon. Him and 3 other white people, 2 white, I guess his brother, some young white kid from like Holland or something. I don't know what country, some country. And an older white lady who was a pilot decided they got in his little, Blue Origin spacecraft and they went to space and then they came back. And interestingly enough, Jeff Bezos had some comments for y'all. You know what I'm saying? When he came back from
Jeff
space.
Bezos had smoke. He had smoke.
He had some smoke for y'all when he came back. If you want to pull that up, John, and we can kind of show. Oh yeah. Here's some of if you can start it like you got it. Let's hear Jeff Bezos' comments.
The newest
He got a
international
10-gallon hat on.
astronauts, the crew of New
He did have a hat on.
Congratulations, all 4 of you.
Yeah, that's Jeff.
He's really Lex Luthor.
What was it like? Was everything you imagined?
I'm going to answer that question, but just real quick.
Please.
I want to thank a few people.
I want to be humble.
First of all of the engineers at Blue Origin who have toiled hard to get this done. The people who build the vehicle, all of our manufacturing people, This is a big team. They've been working on it for many years, and they have done an extraordinary job of building the most reliable, most beautiful, most
Well, I
fun.
wonder what inspired him to put on that cowboy hat. Like what? Like
gratitude. And the people who kept us safe today, who operated the vehicle, our trainers, everybody. It's just huge.
The people who had one
I
job
also want
and
to
failed.
thank the town of Van Horn. This is a
JK.
small and amazing little town. You know, we're making a dent in it.
he got his little fresh
We appreciate you,
custom
I
suit
still
on. You know what I'm
understand.
saying?
be part of your town.
I really do not understand
And,
this hat though. It
and
doesn't
then-
even match.
I want to thank every Amazon employee and every Amazon customer, because you guys are paid
Riot.
for all this. So seriously, for every Amazon customer out
Riot.
there and every Amazon employee, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
You
very
you
much.
pay for it. Amazon,
very appreciated.
every Amazon employee and every Amazon customer, you pay for him. But I mean, that is, I mean, you know, his exploitation of workers, his denial of unions, his denial of healthcare, you know, his putting mom and pop businesses out of business, his monopolizing everything. The extra billions he made during the pandemic could enable him to go to space. Like, F all of y'all on the ground, I'm gonna go ahead and go to space. What do y'all? I mean, to me, that's like as white supremacist as possible. You know what I'm saying? Like
That
that's
was like
more,
the most backhanded gratitude I've ever heard in my life. It's like, yeah, thank you to all the employees I don't let use the bathroom because your extra time on the floor helped pay for my trip to space.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Your $7.50 an hour that you can't live on. Like, I mean, and they're laughing. And that's the thing. I mean, here's a dude, he got his big 10-gallon hat on for God knows why. He's all smiles because he just came back from space. And he's like laughing at the people that have to like work and also get like welfare just to live. I mean, what the hell, man? I mean, if that ain't, just like you said, he's the real supervillain, bro. You're gonna have to take your title, bro. You're gonna have to give up that Instagram handle, man.
Man, listen, I'm gonna tell you what, he can have it if he takes me to space on that flight. I've always, but listen, when I was a youth, I went to Canadian Space Camp. I went with the CSA, Canadian Space Agency, right? Because Chris Hadfield was like one of my favorite people growing up.
Never so know, don't even know who that is.
Chris Hadfield? He's like the most famous Canadian that ever went to space. Anyway, he's like,
which is why I don't know him because I live in the United States.
I mean, but he's like a consultant on like Interstellar and all of these major sci-fi blockbusters. They always consult Chris Hadfield because I think he's the current person on the planet that spent the most time in space.
And I'm pretty sure he's white, correct?
100%.
Okay, exactly.
He is, but I mean, listen. If Sir Richard Branson,
are you capping to try to get 100 million? You trying to get Jeff to give you 100 million so you can give it away to everybody?
Listen, I'm trying to go. I'm trying to go to space. Fuck all them other niggas. Take me. I'm trying to go 60.
Miracle, isn't this what you predicted, Miracle? From your twin?
Yes. I told y'all it was there. It's just manifesting. Told y'all. You gotta ask.
Selling out his whole community.
White supremacy because they want to abolish white supremacy, or because they want the benefits of white supremacy themselves.
I just want to go to space.
The benefits of white supremacy. Why do you want to colonize?
Isn't space black?
You want
space is black.
Why do you want to colonize space?
But you want to go to space because ain't no niggas there.
I want to see it and come back.
You want to come to space because ain't no niggas there. Ain't no niggas.
No, space is black, my nigga. I'm trying to go see space. Because it's more blackness to see. That's where I'm trying to go.
See, you always these light skins with these smooth talking words. You always gotta watch this. You gotta watch that.
It sound good. It sound good. Listen,
watch some light skins.
He literally said "F y'all niggas," and now he wants to go to see space to see more blackness. You gotta watch. You gotta watch him. But at the end of the day,
hey, listen. Blackness is universal. Blackness is universal. Remember that, Miracle. Remember
First
that.
of all, you try to have a selfish experience has nothing to do with being black.
Yeah,
Number
he didn't
one.
say my people.
Number
I
two.
want. He didn't say I want my people to have the ability to go to space. He said I want to go to space. F y'all
Hey,
niggas.
let the
That was a
Hoteps
quote.
tell it. That's
He
where we
didn't
came
even
from.
say I want to
Let the
inspire
Hoteps
little
tell it.
black boys
We going back.
to be in space.
No,
What was
didn't say
that?
that.
I forgot what that man. This guy. He was like, Jeff Bezos. He's going to inspire the man on the street with the gun who's selling drugs to now want to go to space.
No, he didn't.
Farouk
Who said
didn't
that?
even say that. Some random spaceman. I was like, no. Farouk didn't even say that. He didn't even say he wanted to look and be the astronaut figure for little black and brown boys across North America. He said, F y'all niggas, I want to go space. For 5 minutes.
That's a quote.
Hilarious.
That's a quote.
For
Fuck
5
them
minutes.
niggas. I want to go to space.
We're going to have
Quote
my
me on
t-shirt
that.
next week.
Fuck
That's
these
what
niggas.
I
I'm
think.
going to space.
I think that's
Yes.
exactly what Jeff Bezos said right before Blast. I think that's the
these
exact
niggas.
quote.
Fuck
of
these
Jeff
niggas.
Bezos.
Fuck these niggas.
I don't
niggas
So wait.
understand the physical
Did he-
representation of the rocket. And I feel
It
like
did look like a penis. It did.
It
it
did.
really did. And I was like, why, sir? It was very fellatio. It was.
So did he?
And I
actually,
didn't understand.
Did he
Put your hand
orbit the
down.
planet, or what did he do? Did he just go up and come down, or like?
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't honestly say I don't know. I think it seemed like he just went up there and came right back down. He went up there, they hit some anti-gravity thing. They did a little
so
video and came right back down.
So he just broke the atmosphere and then came down like he.
From my understanding, they wasn't up there long, but kind of like when Miracle's on point when she talked about colonizing space, because he sold apparently he sold $100 million in tickets of other people that want to go to space. He was talking about, he talked about all of the industries that cause pollution in the world. We can move them to space. And so now he like let's fuck the space up like we messing up. Yeah, but he's talking. Go ahead.
Where are the aliens? Where are the aliens?
Right. There's already you can buy business cards and send them to the moon already. For a lot of enterprises do that. There's already business cards on the moon. There's advertisements on the moon. On my new album I have coming out called Revolutionary but Gorgeous, I have a line where I say, I'm gonna plug myself. I have a line where I say, the sky ain't the limit, it's just the beginning. Why you think they're trying to colonize the moon and tax you for visits? Like,
I thought you were about to say your album is going to be advertised on the moon. That's
It
why
might
I
be.
was going with that, and I was
It
like,
might be,
his new album tentatively called "Fuck Them Niggas, I Want to Go to Space."
Release party on the moon.
I'm recording the whole shit in zero gravity.
He was also talking about, Jeff Bezos was also talking about like commercial space aircrafts. So like he's not just, remember, he supposedly, he stepped down from Amazon. I'm not gonna say, I feel like, Rob Jeff Bezos might have been, a little bit of pressure, but he left Amazon and now he's running this Blue Origin company or corporation. And so now he's focusing on another, idea. And so, but just like you said, I mean, it's wild because I think he spent like over $1 billion just on this flight. Richard Branson, also another white man billionaire who went to space as well. And, we're at a time where we're still in a global pandemic, millions of people, more unemployed people that we've ever seen, people in desperate need of money more than we've ever seen, and people that work at Amazon struggling to get by that actually work for his actual company. And so it is wild to see, basically like, and he's got his cowboy hat on, he's laughing, he's joking. He obviously doesn't care about even the people working for him that made this possible. You know what I'm saying? Real quick question before we go on to the next subject. He gave Van Jones and another gentleman, I forget the other gentleman's name, I believe it was a Mexican brother, each $100 million for like courage and something, whatever. And it's weird, it is weird. And shout out to Mackenzie Scott because like, that's his ex-wife. It seems like is doing due diligence. She's investigating, organizations. She's prioritizing Black-led organizations. It's like she's doing the groundwork and trying to really create transformational change. Jeff Bezos, it's almost like he just flipped his Rolodex or whatever, just chose two people of color, you and you. I'll just give y'all both $100 million. Do what you want to do. do y'all think? I mean, does that matter? Is that something that we should be happy about? You know what I'm saying? What do y'all think about Van Jones and the other brother getting $100 million each?
I think it's performative as fuck because Jeff Bezos like clearly doesn't give a fuck about, you know, the black community, people of color, none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because if he actually cared, that $100 million of that, in my opinion, that $100 million could have went to increasing wages for his employees, the ones who so-called helped him get to space, right? But instead it's going to this performative ass, I don't know what he's trying to call this stunt. Whatever he's trying to do, it went to this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, of course, if you're Van Jones, I mean, you're going to take it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, somebody call you like, yo, I got 100 mil for you. But, you know, I mean, do you think, is it going to change anything, Miracle? I'm sorry.
Is Van Jones $100 million? I mean, it may change something for, yes, it'll change something for some people somewhere. There wasn't really a rollout or a plan, and I didn't watch all of Van Jones's speech. You know, Van Jones has been very instrumental with like the Reform Alliance and helping in some ways. So maybe I'm not sure what the priorities are. It would have been nice if he would have encouraged some stuff around labor unions, talked about slave labor, since there are prisons that do work with and benefit due to Amazon's partnership. But we'll see. I hope somebody somewhere benefits from the $100 million that was given for a multi-billion-dollar space exploration project.
I just see something that says quote from Van Jones today's. Oh no, that's a joke. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I don't know. Farouk, you have any comment on this?
I could use $100 million to send me to space.
Oh my God.
Oh, so Chef Jose Andres is the other person that he gave $100 million, and that they were free to do what they want with the money. You know what I'm saying? They could do what they want with the money.
Was it just like, here is a wire transfer? I mean, clearly not a wire transfer for $100 million, but like, did he give it to him individually?
Yeah. He said they can give it all to their own charity, or they can share the wealth. It's up to them. I mean, it's his Courage and Civility Award. So what I thought was so interesting was he was like, you know, his thing was, you know, Van Jones and I guess the Shelf, they wanted to bring people together. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Van has been somebody that like be with the Republicans, be with the Democrats, and been very critical of that. You know, like Courage and Civility. To me, that's just, you know, I guess I'll throw my $100 million out the window. That's just such a white supremacist. It's like, we want you to be courageous, but not so courageous that you make white people uncomfortable. So we got to give you the courageous and civility. You know what I'm saying? Which is, I mean, you know, even though like in our death, in our fight, in our oppression, we got to be civil. And I just, you know, I mean, fuck that. I'm sorry, man. I'm not going for it. You know what I'm saying? Keep your $100 million.
You know,
I ain't gonna be civil.
So I just thought about an answer to your first question about like, how do we feel about this space exploration and stuff like that? And like, I'm kind of scared for real, you know, because it's like we see what happens when white men go to places uncharted by white people.
You're scared
you know what I'm saying? Like they take over and they're just like, yeah, this is mine now.
There's a whole genre of films about that. There's a whole genre of films about that.
So I'm kind of worried. I'm like, whoa, like what's about to happen?
You know what? They could like we done fucked up the environment here. Like they go places and mess it up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a great point. Like they could go and mess up space.
What did brother Malcolm say?
Hold up. I know exactly what he said. He said, "Fuck them niggas, I want to go to space." I believe that was an exact quote from my brother Malcolm X.
This is the podcast that like finally.
Yo, Yas is gonna phone us tight. Yas is gonna be tight.
No, that's not. Well, that was. She knows that's a joke. Go ahead. What was you saying, brother? I'm sorry. When you said a quote, that was the first quote that came to my mind.
Listen. I want that on t-shirts. Fuck these niggas. I'm going to
my
space.
God. Oh my Lord.
I have a picture of me like this.
Oh my God. Right. And it's probably when you ask where the aliens miracle, they probably hiding. They hiding because they know that's what this dude does. They like oppress people, they colonize people,
before.
they probably hiding. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Yeah, but Malcolm said there's no place on the planet the planet Earth a white man can go and said he's done good. And I mean, he's gonna go to space now with that same energy. Like, you know, Mars is next. But Bob, like, if you watch, does anybody remember when the movie Avatar came out? James Cameron's, not the whitewashed martial arts film. And that was the premise of it. These white people went to this planet and colonized it.
That was the premise. Yeah,
that was the entire premise. And then
Yes.
people were saying that the film was un-American because it was exactly what happened to the natives and the Aboriginal people and the indigenous
100%.
people of North America.
100%.
It's like, that is literally the future. Like, Jeff Bezos is going to go to Pandorum and fuck that place up.
But it is kind of interesting because you're seeing like, it's like, or does he want to go to space because they see like how how this society is like disintegrating like right before our eyes. You know what I'm saying? Is that, and it's like, you know, one of the things that came out this week was in Texas. I guess, like, you know, first it was critical race theory. And this is what's interesting about how like these white supremacists work, right? First it's we trying to push back against critical race theory. And then the next thing you know, it's, oh, we can't even say that the Ku Klux Klan isn't racist. Like, we can't even use that terminology. Oh, and by the way, the requirements to talk about Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream speech, that's gone. You know what I'm saying? Women's suffrage and gender, that's gone. And so it's kind of like what we said about this super whitewashing of history. And this happened in Texas this week. That basically, you know, the state Senate in Texas passed a bill to eliminate a requirement that public schools teach that the Ku Klux Klan and its white supremacist campaign of terror are morally wrong. It also cut 24 curriculum requirements, such as I Have a Dream speech from Martin Luther King, works of Cesar Chavez, Susan B. Anthony, and of course, indigenous Native American history.
From a state that called slavery, that retconned slavery and called it the transatlantic migration, is anybody shocked?
I mean, yeah, I'm definitely not shocked, but it's like, you know, I don't know if we expect. I don't think maybe I expected to get here so fast, but I mean, here we are. I mean,
in 5 years they changed every history book in the country. So, you know, this is probably the pace. This is probably their trajectory. Like, you know what I mean? The telemetry was heading to say, okay, yeah, we're gonna remove Martin Luther King, like everything. Like, it was, you know what I mean? That was a game plan from the beginning. Texas is the worst state.
So much for civility, right?
so much. Fuck these niggas. I'm going to
move
space.
Martin Luther King. Miracle. What are your thoughts about? I mean, is this legal? I guess it is legal. It's a law that they made. What should we do, Miracle, about this?
White supremacists are going to white supremacists. And I just don't understand why people be like, oh my God, I'm so shocked that this is happening. They do not want to learn about y'all's history. They don't even want to acknowledge the history and the discrimination that's ongoing right now. So this is what they're doing. The backdrop to all of this is, one, white women are not birthing white children at the same rate in the past 10 years. True. So the Caucasian birth rate is declining while everyone else is kind of like steadying. And so you're going to have more teachers of color, more Black and brown teachers. And what they're trying to do, as Van Jones said, is this little white lash. They're trying to gather as much power and stronghold as they can right now to make sure white supremacy is still able to function in every aspect of our lives, and being able to say, you know what, You don't get to learn about the Ku Klux Klan being a terrorist organization. You get to learn about the Ku Klux Klan being a social gathering of white men. Therefore, when you sit there and say people who push critical race theory are just like the KKK, there's no pushback. And this is what they're doing. They're course correcting to make sure they don't have to be held accountable or responsible for any of their prior actions or deeds, and that people don't know the true history. Because on top of that, Texas actually, the lieutenant governor of Texas actually stopped a talk where a person was literally doing a discussion about how Texas was founded to keep slavery. Like, Texas threatened to secede from the Union unless slavery was going to continue. And Lieutenant Governor actually stopped that talk from happening at a local library. So that is why it's very important that we understand the history of our country and that we are very honest about the mistakes of our past so we don't keep making them.
Right. But just like you said, you have a group of folks that's investing in that white supremacist system continuing. And, you know, you see, I mean, just like you said, and also like kind of like trying to decriminalize groups like the Proud Boys and, you know, all these other groups that ran up in the Capitol and try to make it seem like that, because if you learn about the Klan, you learn about these things, and it's like then you could look and see like what Donald Trump and his followers are doing and kind of point that out. Okay, I learned about that. This is what it is. That's white supremacy. But if you don't, you could then couch that as, oh no, these are just, you know, white people that just want what's best for everybody, and color don't matter, and we don't see color. It's wild how the people that don't see color do their best to like keep color out of everything, like eliminate color from everything. So it is wild. Trouble, what's your take on this?
So if I'm being completely honest, when I see shit like this, it just gives me more motivation to start my own school, bro. It's like, I don't know why we trust the public school system that's funded by the government, the same government that still wants us all to be subservient to it, that still wants certain people to be with, you know, below a certain class, you know what I'm saying, so that they don't have the power that they need to make substantial change. So it's like, I'm just losing my trust in anything government funded, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting. Now, is there a correlation, Miracle, between like this passing and then, you know, we also saw like, I guess the first person that was charged in the Capitol riot got like 8 months, and a lot of people was like, yo, eight, like that's it? Is there a correlation between the two?
There is, because like when you talk about they don't see color, white people who don't see color, they're able to ignore the fact that there are racial disparities. So like that's why Missouri can talk about critical race theory and not have any black people. That's why they can sit there and say, oh, this man who committed the act of domestic terrorism gets like less than 8 months in prison because they don't have to compare his case and his sentence to other black and brown people because they don't see color, and therefore they're not going to be held to any standard. But I was at a talk and I forgot who said it. And I really feel bad because I like to give people credit. But they were talking about just the system of white supremacy. White people know to protect their own. Just regardless, they don't have to have a conversation. They don't have to have a planning meeting. They know this off the strength to protect their own people. And so none of these judges are really going out of their way to prosecute any of these Capitol rioters with even the most heinous or series of charges, because they know to protect them, because they see themselves in these white men who literally stormed, climbed fences, broke through windows, destroyed federal public property. They see themselves in that. And so they don't see themselves in black and brown people, black and brown women, black and brown children. And that is why they're probably not going to be getting the same amount of prison time as people who, I don't know, hit a cop car or fought in the street.
Right. Because remember, I mean, you know, you got, you know, Brother Josh still in prison off of what happened in Ferguson. That was like what he did was so far less than what these people did when they ran into a Capitol. Like a fire at a convenience store was so far less than what we saw. But you have we saw people jumping on the top of a cop car in Baltimore get hit with like 10, 15-year sentences and these incredibly long sentences. But yet, and what was interesting about this is the Justice Department themselves actually said that stiffer sentences would prevent further attacks. And so then you get somebody to get 8 months, and it's like, so why would that prevent any type of further attacks? Particularly if in them 8 months you can also get your vegan diet, you know what I'm saying, when you're there and all of that stuff. You have any comment on this, Fruit?
Miracle said it great. These judges see themselves in these people that they're sentencing, and it's like a members only club. It's almost just like a secret handshake or something when they do that white power thing or whatever. Like, it kind of indemnifies them from any type of real action, right?
Yeah.
Like the Capitol riots sent a very clear and present message to Black and Brown America that this is ours. We can do with it whatever we want, however we want to, and none of you are privy to the same privileges that we are. And I don't like, and you know, this is another thing, you know, I don't really like to large this brother up too much, but when he said white people have privileges, Black people have liberties.
Who said this?
Dr. Umar said that. That's
I mean, you were on one today, bro. Did you go into this to try to make Miracle as mad as possible?
No, I didn't. But it was just like, man,
is it the new is this some of that location? Is that privilege Farouk's location?
Because he has the privilege and the liberties and coming all day at me, but it's okay though.
My building caught on fire last night. My building caught on fire last night.
Oh no.
Don't try to feel sorry for him now. His building catching on fire got nothing with him throwing smoke my way.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
I like that one.
But
no,
it does remind me though, like you said, of, and I forget the guy. I think his name was Brock something. The guy at Stanford that was like. No, this was the guy that raped a woman. Yeah, Brock Turner. And the judge felt bad for him, and the judge didn't want to like ruin his life. Like, you just raped a woman whose life is forever altered by that act. And so it is something. I mean, you know, you had the leader of the Proud Boys who, you know, basically pled guilty to vandalizing an historically Black church. And this says the maximum sentence is 180 days in prison.
Let me ask this question is for me. This is an opinion question, but more so, I really want to hear Miracle's take on this. What would happen, like, if one of those rioters assassinated a congressperson, or let's say breached, like, got something?
Clearly, the way this administration's going, nothing.
Yeah,
it will probably gotten like 5 years. Yeah. I mean, like, I literally, because there are so many, and again, there are so many federal charges that, because DC is federal.
Right, yeah,
property,
all federal
right?
jurisdictions.
So there are so many charges that people can be getting, and like the Fed can literally be like, it's Friday. I feel like giving somebody 20 years today. Like, people do not understand. Like, the Feds have a 95% conviction rate. Like, they do not play when they want to take people out, and they just like the videos are so crystal clear. Like, they have videos, timestamp. Travel, literally
all that
going across state lines to commit a crime is a felony in itself.
Nigga had a Lego Capitol. I mean, like, like they got all of this information.
They had rock climbing gear, like shit that people just don't have all the time. That's
tasers.
Conspiracy. They were dressed alike. That is gang affiliation. There are so many rules. That is terrorism. They literally make a change.
Rico, where's Rico at?
They have buses.
This further substantiates the fact that, in my opinion, is a fact in my head. Should anything happen to Donald Trump in terms of legally, Biden's going to give him the pardon.
Oh, I mean,
this is further substantial,
bro. Like, nothing's gonna happen, and it's what Miracle just said. Like these white folks are gonna naturally protect one another, and we know that. If that was Black people, I mean, come on, bro. If Black people had a road up in the Capitol, I don't care what day it was,
we would still be burying people.
Look, not only that, but if whoever got caught,
someone stormed
20 to 50 years, you know, like you said, like she said, the feds can say, like, you know, we want to give you these enhancements. They do it all the time. They do these sentence enhancements all the time. Like the feds was hitting drug dealers with 35, 40-year sentences. I mean, these are the feds, man. They could do whatever they want. And to say, oh, we're only going to give somebody 8 months, to not put terrorism charges, to not put RICO charges against these organizations that clearly conspired with. They got mad Parler, Facebook messages, text messages. They're all talking to one another, planning this shit out. Like,
you literally have all the proof, like everything, the paper trail, all the evidence, everything is there for you.
Brother.
Literally,
They literally were like,
there.
I'm there and I'm gonna do it again. And it's just like, and it's not that we're saying, oh my God, this please state this, but it's just like, I've been in court and I watched somebody get 5 years for selling drugs one time, like doing one hand-to-hand transaction and the feds catching them and putting it down to the conspiracy for the whole entire amount of drugs that was trafficking, right? Yeah. So we understand, just because of our own personal experience, that people died. People died as a result of this. Like 5 people, officers were harmed. Where are all of these enhancements? That is conspiracy. One person did shit, everybody gets the charge. And it's just like, if you can loop in 80, 200, 300 black men through court for the same shit, why can't you do the same for these white people who took private planes, who drove, who were on all these chat rooms talking about overtaking the government and killing all sitting Congress people? It's just weird to watch. It's just like, especially being in the legal community, it's just like weird knowing all this stuff that could be going on isn't.
Yeah. You had something else you wanted to say, Farouk?
What if someone had a one hood shirt on when they ran up in the Capitol?
we would be a terrorist organization right now. Fox News would be playing our stuff every single day.
Oh man.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, where's Ayatollah?
Yeah.
They're trying to bring Sharia law, like everything.
Because really that's how they tried to get Black Lives Matter, right? I mean, we had a story come out that said basically that this week that there was a Florida man who basically hired an assassin to kill his girlfriend and was going to pin it on Black Lives Matter. Was basically going to say, oh, this was Black Lives Matter, and try to bring down Black Lives Matter, even though he wanted to, kill his girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? His girlfriend, her sister, and the sister's husband, and then basically pin it on Black Lives Matter. So we saw that. We saw like basically Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization. One person who claimed Black Lives Matter said this one thing over here, and now all of a sudden Black Lives Matter as a terrorist organization, but Proud Boys and these other Oath Keepers, whatever, actually do, just like you said, real violence, caught in 4K. We can't even get a terrorist designation. No,
I'm trying to pull this up. This man, this attorney in Georgia, who is a very famous defense attorney, killed his wife and basically blamed it on Black Lives Matter, saying that like he thought he was trying to shoot the people who were protesting because they were converging on his limo, right? So this is not something that is new. People have lied about Black Lives Matter causing harm to them for years, and it literally is just mind-boggling that people are able to just be out here commit all types of crimes, and these Black-led organizations have to like dot every I and cross every T and hope to God nobody does anything coming to or from or around their events. And these white supremacists out here wilding.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm glad that Florida man's little plan didn't go successfully. You know what I'm saying? Because like it reminds me of what, they did to a lot of the Black Panthers back in the day, pinning random charges on them and just like slowly bringing them down one by one,
Farouk, is there something Umar Johnson said about this that you want to recite for us?
Man, I could actually quote. I actually wanted to quote Tariq Nasheed for Hidden Colors 4.
Oh my God! I'm about to leave. I'm going to go play.
What was it? Breaking the Buck
and talk about the old man is on the moon.
But no, so
I'm just going to recenter my life.
Do we want to get into our Sound of the Police? Do we want to get into that? All right, let's get into our Sound of the Police. Are you ready, John?
Next week we're gonna film again together because
that's the sounds of the beast.
Yes. Oh, what's gonna happen next week, Miracle?
We're gonna Farouk and Ali back filming together because I see
Okay.
I let him
You
be by
gotta
himself and this mess just follows.
all,
Like I'm
all
just,
hell breaks loose when he's by himself.
don't be showing your room key, Pop Smoke. What are you doing?
Oh wow. Look at you. Look at you.
Niggas don't know who I am though.
So it was a couple police videos, or really, it was some wild police activity. But let's start with this. And I'll come to you for this, Miracle. It said Illinois, I guess, was the first state to tell police that they cannot lie to minors in interrogation. We saw this happen on, particularly with the Netflix documentary. Well, really the story. It wasn't a documentary, but the miniseries, When They See Us. And, seeing that case of the Central Park 5, you saw the police just absolutely lied to the children. That was one of the reasons they actually some of them admitted to doing some of the things they did not do. Now, Illinois is the first state basically to come and say police cannot lie to minors in interrogation. Do you see that? One, to me, it's wild that, obviously the police can do that. You know what I'm saying? But do you see this changing, or is this going to become
No. No, because the police are going to lie and they're going to say, "Oh, I had a mistake. I made a mistake of fact or a mistake of law."
Right.
This is why, again, we try to tell people your Fifth Amendment is always going to support you, and it's always going to save you, even if the officers, your principal, your teachers, whatever, don't really want to respect that. You need to always invoke your Fifth Amendment. These officers lie. They're trying to close out cases, right? They're trying to meet quotas. They're trying to go home. They're just trying to do whatever they got to do to make it to the next day and get their paycheck, some of them. And so they're going to lie to you. So Illinois is saying officers can't lie outright. They're still going to lie. They're going to say, "Oh, they made a mistake. They didn't understand," all this other type of stuff. But yes, officers are allowed to lie to you. They can pull you over. They can say whatever. They can do whatever they need to do to get you to commit a crime, to admit to committing a crime, to admit to being in a place so they can put a crime on you. So you understand the Fifth Amendment. You have the right to remain silent, always remain silent. And if a lawyer comes to you, they have to say, "I am a lawyer," because some precincts had officers pretending to be lawyers, and that's also caused issues. So make sure that you're always invoking your right to counsel. You're always being quiet, because at the end of the day, you never know what's happening, right? You can say, I'm not a criminal. I didn't do anything. And I can't even pull up this case. This man in Georgia just got exonerated because the district attorney at the time knew he was innocent, knew another person committed the crime. The other person convicted, admitted to it. Not only did he convict the innocent person, but he made the innocent person sign a waiver that they would not challenge their conviction later on. And only because he lost an election is this man going free. So again, just because you are innocent does not mean you need to talk to the cops. Always, always, always just remain silent.
Yeah, there's an Instagram. It's like two lawyers, and I forget their name. They're two white dudes, but they call it "Shut the Fuck Up Friday," and basically their whole thing is like exactly what Miracle said. Like, don't speak. They said like it was a case where police ran up into a distributor, marijuana distributor, and they were like, the person who didn't say anything was the person that got free. They were like, do not talk, do not assume they on your side. That's was one of the controversies around, I guess, New York City. Police bought some game bus, and it was like this bus where you can go in there and play games and do all that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, people were saying that like there have been cases where cops would buy a child soda just to get that child's fingerprints, just to get that child's DNA. That like, don't think that these police, because they come and they do them things, is it Pop Brothers at Law is what Ross is saying in the chat, is those guys that have Shut the Fuck Up Friday. But don't assume they're your friends. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad that we got to be like that, but we have a history since the police has been created of being, against us and oppressive of us in our community. So, there was a case where a black guy, a officer in Syracuse, actually is suing now his department because they won't let him be a part of or they won't let him get a promotion. And he said basically these white officers are blocking the promotion. And it was wild is this cop, he did some pull-up challenge where he was playing basketball with the kids. That's another thing. The black cop playing basketball with the kids. The video went viral. Everybody was happy for him. But then when it came time to him to get a promotion in his own department, white police officers are blocking his promotion. He's the only black officer on the gun violence suppression detail. No other black officers are part of that type of stuff. So, I mean, is this just who cares as a black officer? But it's like oftentimes, even inside, we just saw the case where the chief put the KKK thing on the black officer's desk. I mean, what more proof do we need? You don't want to talk about this, Farouk, because you don't want to ruin your chances.
Niggas love space.
Niggas love space, man.
You want to comment on this, bro?
I mean, fuck them cops, man.
All right, that's it. Well, I mean, I don't
allegedly, and he said that colloquially because that is just the common sense.
Right.
Straight from the underground. A young nigga got a bag from the ground.
He was talking about those police officers. He was talking about those Syracuse police officers that are holding back a good black officer from participating and helping his community. And it is, I mean, and that's the unfortunate reality of what happens. Even if you're a black officer, the police comes with a culture, and oftentimes that culture is anti-black. So even when you're a black police officer, that anti-black culture of the police affects you because you're a part of it.
I got a friend. I don't know if we would be. Yeah, I guess we're cool. You know, we're cool enough. I haven't spoken to him in a few years. He was a police officer. He's a black police officer. He has an open case in court against his former Department of Employment for discrimination and all these other things. But he was foolish enough to believe at one point that he was different, that he was special, that he kind of made it through. And like how they do, they divide you and they bring you in and make you think that you're acceptable Negro. Oh, you got a badge, the only color the blue, until that does no longer apply to black people. And you figure out you just like the rest of us, my nigga. It doesn't matter if you have a badge, whatever. But I know on the panels earlier this week, the symposium that we've been having around juvenile justice, a topic was proposed to happen on black and blue. And I thought that was super interesting. I thought, Miracle, you handled that statement very, very well, because I couldn't have handled it as well as you did. But there is no thin blue line when it comes to black people within the police department. There's not. And before I say something that's going to get us canceled, I'm just going to mute my microphone.
Yeah, I mean,
I do want to share that I did have a comment. I was part of a panel where we actually had a representative from the LAPD, and from his mouth, I got to hear their perspective on the communities that they serve and protect. And he tried to flip it. He tried to flip the script and basically paint the community like the community is dangerous, like the community is the perpetrators, like they are justified in being as armed as they are and as violent as they are because of the communities that they police, without holding any accountability to how violent they appear in these communities, or how basically every encounter that we have with a cop could turn abrasive just like that. You know what I'm saying? And there was no accountability for that whatsoever.
And it's interesting because LAPD and LA sheriffs have a history of also having police having gangs inside the police department. That was one of the things that kind of Training Day tried to touch on a little bit about, inside the police department were these officers that were tatted up.
Rampart
they had
division.
Gangs. Right. They had gangs. They were gangs inside of the police station. And so to try to act like it's just us and there's no accountability on those police officers' fault is kind of crazy.
But that's the thing, that you glorify that. You get Oscar-nominated films about derelict police units that kill people and extort money. What we laughing at?
Miracle's updated her name. You know what I'm saying? Google LAPD gangs. Exactly. So I don't know. Did you want to comment on this before we get to our next story, Miracle?
I did. Again, this idea that assimilation is going to save you. It will not. That assimilation is going to protect you from white supremacy. It will not. And this idea that like he did all this stuff, all this propaganda, as we call it, to help his brothers in arms have a better day at the time when police morale is currently at an all-time low. And these officers have banded together to make sure he didn't get a promotion. It's like laughable and it's hilarious. But it's also at the end of the day, I feel as Black people, no matter what role you are serving in, you have a burden and a clarion call and responsibility not to do harm. And this idea that we keep having all of these Black officers look at the Black community as something that is it needs to be clamped down on, and instead of something that needs to be loved, supported, and invested, is very like hurtful and harmful. And I think at the end of the day, sure, like, sir, I hope you get your promotion, but I also hope you understand, as the story of OJ goes, you always going to be Black, and no matter what, it is your duty to make sure other Black people are not harmed by your presence. So that's what I'm going to say about that.
Yeah. So we have one more story that I wanted to get to, and this kind of went viral this week. Do we want to talk about the most perfect behind in human creation? Apparently, a story broke, and this woman, according to this, and this is some white supremacy. I mean, when we say this is some white supremacy for your ass, like this is like literally. White supremacy. If you want to pull that up, John, this was according to, I don't know, somebody white, that this was the woman that has the most perfect behind. Go ahead, John. Let's run this. You already shaking your head, Miracle. Move over, Jennifer Lopez.
Is that what that said?
Yes.
I feel very flattered.
No, it didn't. What?
That I have
That's the most perfect behind in America. Where?
Jean designers say Natasha Wagner's bottom is not too big, it's not too small, it's just perfect.
Natasha's curves are in all the right places.
The 34-year-old from Los Angeles is a size 6, has a 28-inch waist, and stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. Jean makers like Jennifer DeClark of the 7 for All Mankind brand.
Do they know about BBLs? I'm guessing they don't. They don't know about that.
As a secret weapon for creating the perfect fit.
She has mile-long legs.
Wait, you're muted,
thin,
Miracle.
But curvy at the same time.
I said maybe this is the new trend. All the BBLs are going to go away, and people are going to take it down.
What do y'all think?
My job is to go in.
The fact that he said not too big
jeans and be the same size.
What threw me. He was like, not ethnic.
Not too big.
It is not ethnic.
I just learned something today. I just learned that you can keep mayonnaise in blue jeans.
Won't be. I mean, don't have the,
Yeah, don't be disrespectful. I mean, the lady didn't. They didn't. She didn't choose that name. They chose it for her.
But she could have declined the interview. She could have declined to be paraded around there. You know what I mean? Like,
you could stay your ass on Earth, nigga. Like, you know.
Maybe
with your people.
Maybe the Martians got them fat asses. I don't know.
Stop.
They might be
Stop it.
The Martians might be packing, bro.
I mean, isn't this though like the type of stuff, Miracle, that leads, particularly like, like you said, Black and brown women that have like self issues, body issues. If this is kind of the thing that like mainstream media is saying, oh, this is the perfect shape. You know what I'm saying? And it's clearly a shape that many black women specifically are not born with.
I mean, yes. There is like this underlying Eurocentric beauty of standard that is always like pushed and marketed out, and I do think we are starting to see more media push different shapes of what women look like.
Right.
But the fact that they were just like the most perfect butt in America.
Move over, J-Lo. Move over, brown skinned woman.
He makes.
The nigga that said that shit in the interview, he pulls his dick through the boxes to have sex.
Oh my god! You know what? We're gonna go on like a funding meeting, and this is what they're gonna. This episode that they're gonna play,
No, sir.
and then we're just gonna be like staring at each other, like,
I mean, but like you said, like that's somebody who, he was given something to read. He read it. He might not even feel that. He might have a sister at home. We don't know. But yeah, that was a wow. So why don't we get on, Miracle, with that? Can we get on to our?
What have I do with it? Nothing.
I'm just saying, White Pages. You have the book. I can talk about.
I do.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So are we doing our call to action, or are we doing the White Pages first?
Let's do White Pages because it leads into our call to action.
Okay, so we know that in order to fight white supremacy, we have to read, we have to learn, we have to grow, we have to decolonize our mind and unlearn the past. And one thing we want to do is become better, but not bitter. You want to live on the purpose in the pursuit of racial justice. You want to understand the mistakes of the past. And Yusuf Salam, I always say that wrong. Part of the Exonerated Five, he has a new book out just talking about the ability to learn from the mistakes, become better, make apologies and grow. And so this is a great book for people to read. And if you want to hear more from Yusuf directly, my waffle colored twin, where can they hear?
It's funny that you should mention his book that I cannot read because I don't know how. However, I will be moderating a panel with the brother tomorrow at 2 p.m. on. Oh wow, look at that! That was fun. Hey, John, large up to the production team, man. That was well timed. We will be having our culminating event for this week in juvenile justice. What Pennsylvania needs to know about juvenile justice. It'll be myself, brother Levon Wesley, brother Eric Yule, and of course the keynote speaker, the guest of honor, friend of ours, friend of the organization, Dr. Yusuf Salam, talking about adjudication, our struggles with the justice system, mass incarceration as youth. And it's going to be super dope, man. So everybody tune in tomorrow at 2 p.m. Yusuf's going to talk about the book. There's going to be a whole lot of things happening. And then afterwards, I'm going to space.
And so that's our call to action number one.
If you are like Farouk and you can't read, there's also pictures.
I love pictures.
Book.
That's why I like Instagram.
You can also, it's very cool. So you can do that as well. Also, this whole entire month of July, we've been talking about safety, right? Safety, community, what we can do about justice. And this Saturday, our C4 organization, One Power, has teamed up with a couple of people, including Senator Sharif Street from Philadelphia, our very own Representative Summer Lee, to have a conversation this weekend about how we can combat gun violence and mass incarceration. I will be your moderator. It's going to be this Saturday from 12 to 2. If you come in person, we would ask you to wear your mask. Just because Delta is here and she's not going anywhere. If not, you want to stay home, watch it on your phone while you're out and about. It'll be live streamed on our Facebook and YouTube pages.
Delta Burke is coming on Saturday?
No,
but we forgot to call her. But next time.
But they did say that in the last 48 hours, 125 new cases of COVID-19 was reported to the health department here. And so definitely be careful, bring your mask back out. You know what I'm saying? Protect yourself. You do not want to get COVID or the new COVID. And so, mask, there you go. Put your mask on. You know what I'm saying? And if you need a mask, we got boxes of them. Boxes and boxes and boxes of masks.
And I don't know if you could see whatever this is. There is a pop-up clinic this Friday.
No, I can't read that.
I'm not talking to you. There is a pop-up clinic this Friday in the Hill Shop and Save. It's free. You can go. Casa San Jose has a pop-up clinic on Tuesday where they can also provide translations. So for Spanish-speaking individuals. So please, if you know people, bring them out. They can ask questions. On Thursdays, we have Ask a Black Doctor. So if you know people who are scared of the vaccine, want to ask questions about the vaccine, they want to talk to medical providers, there are resources out there because this Delta variant is more contagious. Even children are getting sicker, and all across, my mom's a nurse in Georgia, all across the country, these numbers are skyrocketing. People who are vaccinated are also getting it as well, but they're being able to fight it. and be sick for lesser time. The majority of people who are dying and in the hospital for over a week are the unvaccinated. So please, please, please make sure you're getting it and making sure you're washing your hands and wearing your face mask.
Absolutely. And then last but not least, also, we launched onehoodpower.org today. So if you want to, go to onehoodpower.org, you can check out, our C4 and read about the great work we're doing, volunteer to help. We got a lot of stuff coming up. We still have an election coming up in November. So we're definitely going to be active about getting people active and getting you as much information you need to know about that election. Anything else?
Yes. So Treble has a show tomorrow at 7 p.m. downtown at the Allegheny Overlook.
Blah, blah,
You know what I'm saying? It is free to the public, but make sure you mask up. We want to have a fun, safe time. You know what I'm saying? Come out. There's going to be alcohol. There's going to be good vibes. I'm going to have some exclusive Reject merch on deck. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be performing the entire Hen album plus a couple unreleased joints, so you don't want to miss it.
Man, so
I would just like to thank everybody that tuned in last week to make Hotline Ring a success. Together, we received over $210,000 worth of donations from the community. It was a fantastic experience, super dope. So thank you everybody that tuned in, that donated, that shared, that retweeted, everything. Yo, it was a movie. It was super dope.
Appreciate y'all. I think that's it, man. So we will see y'all tomorrow for Yusef Salam. On Tilt is also tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Shout out to On Tilt. And yeah, Yusef Salam tomorrow too. And Thursday, hanging out with Trouble later on that night. Saturday, we hanging out with Miracle and doing some stuff around gun violence. And so hope to see y'all in the streets. Peace, y'all. One hood.
Peace.
Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. They suck the blood of the poor and to wipe their mouth. The last gas of a world that is dying out. Welcome to the whitest house, where every room is a tomb that they lie about. Where you can put your filthy feet on the finest couch, and for the right amount, you can even